So I'm Hamza Ghedamsi from Tunisia, and I'm from the scientific background mainly because I studied medical biology and worked more than 12 years in public health in laboratories and all. But this was not a reason to keep me out from being active in civil society, especially in the field of good governance, of state of law, but also civic participation and youth participation in general. And because of that, I have been committed in the African level through the initiative that I created in 2013, the Model African Union, which is today an official organization working in the continental level, the national level and the continental level, but also with the global vision and global partnerships, which one of them is Learn to Change Network, of which I'm a member. And I'm focusing also now with UNDP on a project between African Union and UNDP on African Union treaties, which is also trying to link it to the work that we are doing. So mainly I'm trying to gather all this around the same objective, which is sustainable development for the goodwill of people, mainly with the African context.
You studied biology and you're working in a hospital. You're doing socio-political work beside your job. How did it come that you decided to become active in this field? And when did this happen? Can you share a part of your personal story with us, explaining the path of engagement that you took from its beginning to the point where you are at now?
Yes, coming from scientific background, mainly here in Tunisia, we are good on sciences, we are good on techniques, we are good in engineers, but moving to university, I noticed that we are more focusing on and we are more taking in consideration what we have to accomplish on that level because we want to succeed in professional level, forgetting that what we could learn outside the university is also so valuable than what we could learn inside university. So I tried as much as possible to make our university more active in cultural way, in civic participation way, and also in other activities outside of the extracurricular. So since 2006, 2007, I started to initiate many clubs inside our university, mainly around the integration of Pan-African but also Sub-Saharan students studying in Tunisia, and created a lot of cultural clubs. And this was the first steps from my side to discover during this adventure that yes, what I could learn from this has also the same value as what we could learn from biochemistry or microbiology or whatever. Getting always in mind this ultimate objective that I had since I'm young, that to go to space, like being an astronaut, this is in another level. Yes, to go outside of this earth, it's not only sciences that could allow me to do it. So you have to be more than that. You have to discover all the things. You have to discover how it's working outside that small sphere. And the revolution came to Tunisia, and we had more accessibility to be able to create these organization association. So in 2013, it was the 50th anniversary of the African Union. And from my side, I was always thinking about, yes, our Africa, what could we do if we have been able to take our destiny and destiny of people of Africa in our hand, as youth, and civil society in Africa. So it was the idea to create this model African Union, which African Union in miniature, which is the African Union with the vision of Africa youth and civil society, and youth and African civil society. And we are dealing tackling the same issues and challenges that the African Union also is treating. We are following up to them recommendations with some resolutions coming from our side, and we are also organizing our own annual summit, where we also come out with some recommendations to share with the African Union leadership. But we have also some other projects and programs like the African Forum for Climate Justice, where we are tackling climate justice, food sovereignty, and other things. So we are going to the field to work, not only doing the theoretical work.
You started a while ago in university, but still now you decided to work with young people, and you decided to empower them to take part in decision-making processes. Why this target group? Why is this work important, and what do you observe?
Even starting from university, still now focusing on those students, on youth. It's important from our perspective, especially from African perspectives, because it's a fact that African population is the youngest population in the world, and we have like more than 65% of the population that is between 15 and 35 years old. So it's the youngest population, and this is the real wealth of this continent, because they are the future generation, they are the future decision makers, they are the future engineers, they are the future artists, they are the future educators, all these. So not investing on them will lead to automatically lose, because yes, we have to invest on this. And I remember that even one of the topics 2018 of the African Union was to harness the demographic dividend of youth in Africa, where youth as demographic parameter are considered as economic dividend, as wealth of this continent. So focusing on youth with the potential that we have as African youth here, because when I was moving in the network, but also in African countries, in the 5 regions of Africa, I always had to notice by myself that when African youth have the space and the opportunity and a peaceful environment, let's say a democratic environment, they will do extraordinary things. This is a fact and something that I noticed. So we are trying to empower this youth with the civil society in Africa, plus the cooperation, international cooperation also, to give them the tools and the mechanism that they may use to start themselves to be builders in all the levels, social builders, economic builders, peace builders, in all these levels, especially to fight for their rights, and the rights of their peoples there. Yes, it's so challenging, because building peace in Africa with this accumulation of these challenges and conflicts that we have with many other problems like the people movement, migration, climate change, also climate justice, which is highlight today. This is leading to the importance to do this capacity building, empowerment of youth around how to build democracy, what is the best way to reach good governance in their local level, but also national level, plus the regional one, and then to go forward for the implementation of the ideas and the projects and programs for the social economic development. Since 2013, we cannot, like, even they are small, but there are some changes. If they are small, but we are seeing ambassadors, for example, of a model African Union in all the region, even outside Africa for the diaspora. We are seeing these ambassadors, and they are going out with the same mindset and trying to do their best to bring this legacy to others and to follow what we started together.
A slightly different point, but in the end, when it is about the participation of all in the transformation that we are dealing with in our world, we need everybody to participate. Which importance do you see in this topic for democracy and sustainability? And maybe as well, how is the engagement of youth people helping you reach the participation of all, or maybe not?
Regarding the participation of all to reach this, to install sustainability and democracy. Yes, in Africa, we with youth, because, for example, when we are approaching them, we try to remind them that there are these instruments and mechanisms of Africa, African Union, like the African Charter for Human and People's Rights, and in these there is the call to include all people when it's taking decision, when it's deciding the destiny, when it's deciding something to impact all people. So when something is to impact all people, it's important to try to do the best to include all for the participation on the table. And in this level also coming to highlight on women participation. And when every time when we are talking about a specific point, we try to go back and say that there is this instrument, that there is this mechanism in African Union level, which we have to go back to them, to implement them, because they are the tools that allow us to advocate and allow us to implement and to reach this. So when we are talking about the participation of women in Africa, then there is the Maputo Protocol for the African women rights. And yes, when we are talking about it there, when we are approaching the local authorities or civil societies or all the stakeholders, we tell them, yes, it's important to take in consideration this, because there is this Maputo Protocol, for example, and even for the people with disabilities, there are those African Union instruments and conventions that we put them on the front to tell that participation of all is important. They are not just numbers, they are not just like right there to tell that we have 10 people participated. No, it's important to remember that they are all part and integrated part of this population, these peoples, and this sustainable development plan.
Maybe from your perspective, it would be interesting to know if there are some specific challenges that you observe in Tunisia, and if you think these problems are, or these challenges are really local, or are they like a global issue or a regional one?
Sure, always challenges come in when mainly when we are going to implementation. When we are going to implementation of what's in these instruments, then we can find, for example, gaps on local legal framework, for example, or even the absence of the implementation of this. Only if there is some efforts from civil society to highlight and to rise up that those people should be there. And in our level, for example, yes, we can find in some places saying that we have to take in consideration participation of all, but the basics are not there. For example, people with disability, you will not find in a place that there is this organization of the space where it should be, and it could be also accessible to everyone. I mean, at least to go inside, to be able to reach where the place where they may be there to participate freely and easily in taking this decision or in all the processes.
Besides the challenges and that you were referring to, can you maybe share a positive story, maybe from a successful project of participation, a good initiative, an inspiring organization, or similar from your surrounding? It can be from your own work or something you know. So what gives you hope?
No, sure there are positive experiences, and these are the one that feeding the fire, that keeping the motivation and perseverance to reach what we want, or for as the best for all the population in the world. In Model African Union level, we are more now comfortable, and it's becoming something automatic that participation is for all, and all should be included in this participation. And now one of the more noticed experience and examples that I have, it's that I'm proud also of, is with the Learn to Change network, where Global South and Global North, we are trying to create a kind of a pilot, like kind of model that we would like to see it in all world in for the future. When Global South and Global North, there is no more this differentiation between regions, and when we are there are indigenous people. We don't even need to talk about women participation, because it's something normal that they should be there, and not even people with disabilities and all other peoples that should be on the table, like the farmer, like whatever, even the representative for youth and children. So all are there automatically, because we built to take it as a normal thing. So with the Learn to Change network, when we are together, like it's proud to see that yes, it's a kind of the world that we want to be is there in that small space with Learn to Change network, and it's keeping to widen. And I say also, we are trying always to learn from what we had and to make it better and better year by year. Yeah.
So, what would you like to share with someone or with anyone who is listening to this interview and who is starting to think about democracy and sustainability?
Honestly, I'm more practical when it comes to this. Than to go to mottos and just words. For me, I would like to say that yes, when we are moving a step forward, we are moving. It's not when we say let's try to move that we will move. When we are doing action, there is a change, even if it's like one step forward or one half step forward. And honestly, what I learned, that perseverance could be a key to go as far as we are able to, we could go, and we should go. So perseverance, whatever the challenges, and also think all, not one. So it's more to think one for all. It's for me how I think it, and for the common of all, for the common interest of all. This is mainly how I'm functioning. So this is what I could share. Yes.
Yeah, I would ask you to complete 2 sentences for me. So the first one would be, my wish for a democratic and sustainable world is?
My wish for a democratic and sustainable world is to see all people present and all people taking care of their own future and leading by themselves their own destiny.
Thank you. Now the next one. Become active for democracy and sustainability yourself because?
Become active for democracy and sustainability yourself because none will move for you and none will come to fight for what you are seeking. And you only know what's your own need, what's the need around you, and what could be fruitful for all.